Welcome to Databricks News. Today I want to talk about Auto CDC, notebooks, governed tags, workspace skills, Lineage, Ask Genie, and type widening. So let's start with the first update. So recently Databricks added option that when we use Auto CDC, we can consume Delta directly and consume with one easy setting the change data feed from Delta table. Change data feed is the option which you can enable in Delta format and in other formats as well. And every change to your data in that Delta is tracked. So whenever there is delete operation, insert, update, post image, pre-image, so before update, after update, everything is tracked, yes? And this is a really nice way to load your data set incrementally, because even if you cannot implement incremental logic, because for example, when there are only append operations, it's easy to consume as a stream. But when you have updates or deletes, then change data feed is the best solution. And now, thanks to that new option, new flag with read change feed equal to true, we can incrementally, easy way process Delta table with change data feed. So we can say that is best practice because it's a really simple syntax and it processes most of the scenarios, or maybe all, like late arriving data and others. And actually that syntax, which we can now orchestrate also from SQL Warehouse, so it's new addition to SQL Warehouse. It's not running on SQL Warehouse because it's creating additional pipeline. So it's built separately. So we can see that pipeline is running and is processing that change data feed. So basically our source data, which tracked or insert updates and deletes is now flat, and output is normal Delta table. It's streaming table, yes, called because it's updated incrementally. So basically from that change data feed, we create table with our bookings. Booking ID is key, and booking date is another key. It's also used for liquid partitioning because that way you can speed up inserts. Yes, you can also use liquid clustering with this auto CDC. Okay, and it's finished successfully. So let's go there. And we can see that table. Yes, it's done. View in catalog. So based on that change data feed, it created that table, and actually that change data feed had more than 100 million records, so it was pretty fast. Like it took 2 minutes, and actually, often people say that this pipeline are expensive. So actually, I decided to do benchmark, and I was using few technology like structure streaming or table changes, which is entirely on SQL Warehouse, and calculated the price. And I was really surprised that Auto CDC is the cheapest option to process change data feed. More details soon will be published on my blog. And it's cheapest, and also it's handle every scenario because it handles late arriving data. The syntax is really advanced. And also the syntax is the simplest from all, because when you do this in structure streaming, you need to write like sometimes 500 lines merge. So I really recommend everyone to use Auto CDC to process change data feed, including processing change data feed, for example, from Delta shell. Yes, so it's a really amazing solution for that. Okay, let's move to another update. Another update, which I forgot to tell you last week, is that now you can tag notebooks. So actually, if you click here info. You can add tags for your notebooks, and you can also use govern tags. Yes. So probably if in your notebook there is some private information, you can tag it with govern tags that it includes some private information or displaying that. So it's quite useful. I think maybe it could be also automated, like to scan notebooks what is in output and tag them automatically. But that's a nice step. And if we are talking about tagging, govern tags are now publicly available. So you can start use them in production, and they are really nice to implement them with policies. So for example, you can mask data and hide data, which is including certain information, and for example, hide it for certain user or off of the users, yes, because sometimes we don't want anyone to see, for example, credit card number, but of course, our scripts which are processing the data using service principal can see that information. Yes, so this is a really nice solution, and it's really good that it's now publicly available. Let's move to another one. Now in Genie we can add workspace skills. Before it was available for user. So basically workspace skills are like notebooks in markdown format, which are explaining some use case. And actually in that example, I created this skills related to naming convention. Actually, it's really useful for such a thing like template, naming convention. And you need to store, here is a directory for that. In assistant folder, there is subfolder skills. For first time, you need to activate it. So if you go to Genie code, there is this option skills. It's already activated, but first time I had to click button to activate it. And there you can save that information for LLM. So for example, it's a really popular use case that we as a data engineers create some tables, and then after some times we realize that we didn't follow the convention. And I always have problem with that because there are a lot of naming convention, a lot of companies. So for example, if you have something like this, you can ask Genie to adjust this SQL. Please adjust that SQL to our naming convention. Okay, it's thinking, you see it's evaluating skills, so it's looking, is there any skills related to that? It's starting editing. And it actually proposed correctly because our naming convention is with underscore, yes, here, not with camel case, and also we use this shortcut from table, TPL, yes. So it's proposed, and then we can accept, and table is adjusted to our naming convention. So I really recommend to everyone to implement these things for naming conventions and also some templates. Another update is related to Lineage. So now in Lineage we have also Genie rooms and alerts, yes. So when we go to entity metadata, we can see that the Genie space ID is included in Lineage, and also it's displayed on Lineage in Unity catalog. So it's really useful. So it's really nice that more assets are available under Lineage. Another update is related to Genie in dashboards. So it's really nice functionality because now you can ask questions directly on your chart. So for example, let's say that we have such a chart and we have this spike. So then we can ask question about that chart. When we click that button, we can see that chart is linked here. So let's explain the spike on 8th of January. So it's actually analyzing the underlying data set under that chart, and and trying to explain what is happening on the chart. So let's look to result. So it was investigating that day, and it detected that there was one day flash sale email campaign on that day. So it created the new chart, which separated actually regular orders from promotional orders. So it's really nice that it created new charts based on findings. Yes. So and another chart. Yes. So it's really nice. Yes, how it analyzed that spike. Yes, I really like that feature, and I really have this feeling that Databricks dashboards are the best on the market. Of course, when I'm using them, there are still some functionality missing, especially when I'm editing the charts. But I think that the gap is really small, and I think that soon Databricks dashboard will be the first choice on the market. Actually, last week I had a meeting with one of the client, and they want to start use Databricks dashboards as a main dashboards in enterprise. So it's really interesting. And another update, last one, is that now when you create streaming tables, you can use type widening. What is type widening? Let's say that we have some table, which will be the source table for that stream, and that table has type int. Yes, so let's create it. Okay, it's created, and now if we create streaming table from that source table, switch to pipeline. Yes. So let's run it. It will create that that column with type of int. Okay, we can see that it's integer. And in classic SQL, then later when we had the bigger data type arrived, we had this problem that really popular, especially I remember in MySQL, like 10 years ago, or 15 years ago, that bigger number arrived, and then the process failed, or we had too small update inserted. So let's do experiments, and now on source table we will change type to big int, and we will put really big number. Yes. So run selected. Okay, so I inserted one big int record, and now I expect that on our streaming table, which is consuming source, that our data type will be automatically adjusted. So okay, so run that. So we have 2 records so far, and the maximum type is int, and now a big int is coming. Okay, it was quite quick. Also, we can see that big number was inserted, and our column was adjusted to big int, which is called also long. So it's a really nice solution, which with that you can start with small data type, because then it's faster for your data table, because you have less bytes allocated. And with time, the data type will grow naturally with the bigger numbers which are coming. And this is our last update. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.